Hey YouTube, it's Manny. So last video you saw me take all the parts out of my Lee case and put them into the new Thermaltake P3. So in this video, I'm going to actually show you how I ended up wall mounting it. Wall mounting might seem easy, but it's a computer case. It's not really like, this one is designed to wall mount, but there are some things that had some problems I had to do to resolve to get it to wall mount and look straight. So hope you stay tuned and watch this video and see how I did it. Alright guys, here's the PC. You saw in the previous video, I'll put a link in the description below of me switching over to this build. Now it's not in its final form, it is with the feet, so it's desk mounted. I am going to mount it on the wall, and we're going to mount it basically right over there on the wall. So what I did pick up is, I picked up a mounting bracket from Mount It. This is rated for 44 pounds. So what I want to do is actually weigh the machine, make sure it's not over 44 pounds, because I do not want to have any issues at all with that, putting too much weight on the bracket. Make sure you get, if you do the same thing, make sure you get a bracket, a wall mounting bracket that is strong enough. I will put a link to that one in the description below. All right, let's weigh it real quick and make sure it's the right weight. All right, so this is a basic foot scale. We're just going to use this to weigh it. Want to make sure it's under 44 pounds, or at least a decent amount under it, so that we're not putting too much stress on that bracket. So let me set that, click the button, and there it is. All right, now I'm going to place it right here so we can see it. Let it do its magic. 38.2 pounds. Nice. So, like I said, the bracket's rated for 44 pounds. So we got roughly 6 pounds to go. So we're looking good. All right. Let's start getting this mounted. We're gonna take the feet off, but not first. We'll actually mount the stuff on the back of the PC first, and then we'll take the feet off and then mount it on the wall. All right, guys. All right, as I mentioned earlier, this is mounted. Full motion TV wall mounting bracket for flat screen TVs and computer monitors, right? Fits up to 32-inch screens. We don't care about that. All we cared about was the weight, which was 44 pounds. So we're gonna see what's in here. Basically just open this guy up. All right, so obviously it comes with a bunch of screws. Screws, washers, nuts. Figure out which each one does. And this is the actual bracket itself. So you can see, so you can actually see, this is the part that attaches to the computer, and this is the wall mount. I wanted to make sure I got one that actually mounted to a single stud, because that's what I have. So I want to put it on the wall that way. All right, so let's get this apart and get it put onto the PC. All right, so the first issue we ran into is that this bracket's mounting hardware, this is the largest screw it has, it doesn't fit in. So it's not large enough for the to actually mount it. So what we need to do is luckily I actually had I had this universal hardware pack. This is I'll actually put a link to this in the description below as well. I bought this a couple years ago. This is universal mounting stuff for TVs and stuff to walls. So luckily I actually had one that had the right size bolts. So you can actually, these actually fit into the holes. These are, if you want to, these are M6 size, M6. So basically 12 millimeters, I think this one is. So just make sure it's an M6 that will fit, the threads fit. However, it does not fit in here. So that's another problem. So what I did was I actually went and got a, I'll show you in a minute. I actually bored it out a little bit so that it actually fits. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to bore out the other three. I'll show you real quick how I did that and what size bit I use, metal bit, if you want to do that. Obviously, it's not the best thing in the world because now you are taking away a little more meat. So I think it'll be okay. I'm just boring it out a little bit. So I'll show you how I did that. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to metal bit in my drill. This is a 15 by 64 size drill bit. It's a metal drill bit. Make sure your metal's going to work with this. So now what we're going to do is simply, I'm going to take one of our holes that we're going to bore out, basically just put it into the hole, and just drill straight down. Hold it, be careful, nice piece of wood. Alright, so once we've drilled through, we should be able to take our screw, and it fits in now. Alright, one last thing we're going to do. We take a metal file, and we're just going to deburr it a little bit. So you're just going to file it off a little bit so it's deburred, so that when this sits flat, this sits nice and flat against the case. All right, that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do it three more times, and then we'll go back to it. We'll actually install it. All right, so now it's time to actually mount it to the computer. So as we can see, these do fit in. The one thing you want to make sure is you are mounting it in the right direction. So you can see this little notch at the bottom. This is actually going to hook onto the wall this way and hold it up while you screw in the top piece that keeps the PC. If you do it the backwards, you're going to be holding it up and trying. It's not going to be as sturdy. You want to make sure you have that notch facing down. So we put this in here. All right, now that we got that mounted, we're going to take measurements and then see where we want to mount it on the wall. So basically I take the middle of the bracket, I'm going to put it right here to give it a rough estimate, or like right there. It doesn't have to be perfect. I got about 11 inches. So that's what we're going to do over here on this wall. I'm going to measure 11 inches down. Right there. So I know the studs here because this is where the two wall boards are nailed in. So what I did was I basically just took a mark and I said, hey, right about 11 inches right there, right? So we know right about here is 11 inches, that's my center. Then we want to take our stud finder, and what we're going to do is put it on the side. We don't put it on the stud, put it on a place where you don't think a stud is. Then you're going to move it over slowly until you hear a beep. Put a mark. Keep going. Stops. Go back. Put a mark right here. So I did that right here and here, so I know my stud is here. So that's the center line where I want to do. So we're going to take our bracket and we're going to put it here. Basically, remember, make sure these pegs are on the bottom, because the case is going to sit on it like this. So these have to be on the bottom. If you do it this way, it's going to be all awkward. You have to turn it around. So I'm going to put it like this. We go on the other side. We're going to make some pilot holes first. So we're going to put it in like this. We're going to get I got a torpedo level. We're just going to try to make sure that it's roughly level like that. And all I'm going to do is put a little mark here. And a little mark here. Alright, that's where I'm going to drill my pilot holes. Alright, so now we're ready to drill our pilot holes. I'm going to put one here. I'm actually using a metal bit, but it's fine. That's what I had in my box. It's about the right size. I'm actually pulling out a good amount of I know I hit a stud too because I'm pulling out a good amount of wood. Alright. Now we're going to put in I'm actually using an extended bit. And we're going to use the lock the chalk. The two screws that came with it, the long screws like this, little lag screws. So we're going to use those. Remember, once again, before we screw it in, make sure you have the bracket the right direction. You want the pegs down for this particular wall mount. We'll get both in first before we set them to make sure. Might level, make sure it's level, because there is a little bit of. Shoot, that's way off. There we go. Alright, that is nicely into a stud, so now we're ready to just drop the computer on it. But first, we got to take the feet off of it too. Oh, and of course I do the drilling. I should have had my glasses down. Safety first, boys. Alright, this step's easy. We're just going to basically just take the feet off. So just unscrew the feet. Alright, now it's time to mount it. Alright, so we're getting ready to mount it. There are two additional screws that were part of the mounting kit. They actually screw into the side to keep the computer from tilting off, right? So it locks it in. So make sure you have these ready. I'm going to keep them up here with my screwdriver. I'm going to pick the computer up and hopefully line it up. Alright, now time to mount it. I think this is a decent angle so you guys can see it. So basically just going to line it up here and drop it on the leg. So now it's there. I'm going to use my leg to kind of keep it straight. And we're going to take the screws and then we can straighten it out and tighten the screws. All right, so then we gotta put this up like this. All right. Oh, that's really heavy. I know what I can do to do this though. I can put a couple blocks of wood back there to keep it propped up like that. So it's falling forward. So I want it up like this, and it doesn't look like I can actually, given it's very top heavy. I don't think I can make these tight enough. Yeah, it's so top heavy. I'm gonna take a measurement in the back. I'm gonna cut a couple pieces of wood, and I'm gonna kind of stick them back there to keep it propped up. All right, so I figured out a solution to my tilting problem. So what I do is I'm gonna take this one piece, this block, right? I cut it about 2.5, a little more than 2.5. I put some Gorilla Glue double stick tape on there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this, remember I talked about that, there's a stud back there. Originally I was gonna do 2, but it would be on the weak part of the wall. Instead, I'm gonna put this one single one on the stud, but it's gonna be double stick to the computer, so if someone adjusts this, the piece of wood doesn't fall. If someone comes over here and moves it, it won't fall. So we're just gonna get it out here. Like that. And there we have it. And that's nice and stable up there now. Now that we got it mounted on the wall, all that's left is to hook the lines up. Now, this video is it's going to be basically ending here. I'm going to plug it all in and stuff. I'm going to have another video later on how I'm routing the lines. I don't know. I'm thinking about drilling them into the wall and running them behind the walls and back to the computer. I also bought some raceways to try raceways, but that may look sloppy and messy. I don't know what I want to do yet. The other issue is I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the power outlet. There's a power outlet down. You're going to have to see a cord coming down. My chair will kind of be over this, so it might hide it a little bit, but that's still kind of sloppy. All right, let me get it plugged in, and then we'll see it fire up. All right, there we have it. It is finally all hooked up and running with a few small issues. One being is my second monitor is not hooked up right now, simply because it was divvy to DisplayPort, so I didn't have the right adapter. So I ordered one. That should come in tomorrow. We got one monitor no, 2 days, Thursday. So technically tomorrow's Wednesday. It'll come in Thursday. We'll get the second monitor hooked up and everything will be groovy. The other thing is you can see actually my external hard drive right down there, which I do all my local recordings on and stuff like that. And any gameplay recordings is not hooked up either. I got a USB 3.0 cable coming in. And you can also see down on the floor right there that's the cables right now. I still haven't decided what I want to do yet. I could possibly do a raceway. I was thinking of doing a raceway to hide it. The other option is, since this is a cellar and it's hollow, back here is open up. That's another side of the cellar. I could actually run everything, drill a hole behind the computer, run the cables on the other side, never see them, and have a hole come out near the top of, have a hole come out like right around here probably, or maybe lower here. Have a hole come out with all the cables and they can get routed that way. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. Leave a comment if you have any questions about how I did this. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please smash the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maniocrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'd be happy to answer any questions live on stream. Till next time, YouTube, take it easy.